you could hear me with my microphone plugged in. So let's try saying this one more time, all right? After my school club and part-time job, I get a corn dog and ice cream from the buffet near my apartment. So this is a pretty long sentence, so let's try to break it down into 3 parts, okay? So just say the first part of this sentence now. After my school club and part-time job. Try that one now. Okay, good. Now let's try the second part of the sentence. I get a corn dog and ice cream. Try that now. All right, now let's try the last part of this sentence. From the buffet near my apartment. Try that last part. All right, so how many of these words do you recognize? There's a lot of words that I included in the sentence for a very specific reason. Maybe you understand probably words like apartment, right? And part-time job, ice cream. But how about the words buffet or corn dog or school club, right? Do you recognize those words? So this lesson is all about common English to Japanese word problems. So, as you know, there are many, many English words that we use very commonly every day in Japanese. And they are either Wasei Eigo or Gairaigo, right? They come from different sources and they're used in different ways, but at the end of the day, they are words that are borrowed from English or perhaps a different language and used commonly along with natural Japanese. So today we're going to take a look at 10 of these words because you can't really use the Japanese version of these English words exactly in the same way in English. So you'll see what I mean in a moment, but it's also important to note that not all of these are from American English. Some of them are from British English, some of them are from even totally different languages like German or Portuguese, in fact. So, first we're going to take a look at these 5 phrases, these 5 words or phrases right here. My question to you is, how many English words do you know? Go ahead and take a look at this list. How many of these do you know? So, how many? 1, 2, 3, all 5? Maybe not. So, let's go over them. Number 1, school club or hobby club. Try saying that one. Okay. Now, how about number 2? Jacket, sweater. Jacket or sweater. Try that one. Number 3, turn signal. Remember that sharp sound, turn signal. Try that one. All right, number 4, live concert. Live concert. Try that one. Number 5, ice cream. Ice cream. Try it again. All right, now we're going to check our answers. Here is what all of these words correspond to in Wasei Eigo or Gairaigo. So we have number 1, sakuru. Number 2 is jampa or seta. Number 3 is winka. Number 4 is daibu. And number 5 is aisu. Sorry if my Japanese pronunciation is a little off. I'm still learning Japanese myself. But as you can see, some of these words do not sound anything like the words we just looked at. And that is because of the problem with using Wa製英語 or Gairaigo directly in English. It just doesn't translate because some of these words came from different sources, or they were created in Japan with Japanese people, and the two languages evolved separately, and then the Japanese word doesn't really have a relation to what the actual English word is that's used most commonly. So we're going to look at them individually, one by one. So we have hobby club or sakuru. In English, it's usually just referred to as a club. So in this case, especially if you're at a university or a college, right, you have these kind of informal group activities that you meet up with people, and maybe you go camping or you go hiking, you go do something, right? It's a group of people who want to go do something specific. In this case, we don't really use the word circle very much. It sounds a little bit strange in natural English. So instead, we just say a hobby club. We call it a club or a hobby club or a school club. Although school club is more often used for high school, middle school, that kind of thing. So let's look at this sentence right here. Try and say this sentence now. Okay, I have club activities every day after classes. Try it again. All right. Next one. So this one is a jacket or a sweater. Jampa or seta. This one is has an extra layer of confusion on it because we have American English and British English as well. So when we talk about a seta or a sweater, right? In English, or American English at least, a sweater is usually knit with wool or something like that. Whereas a jacket is usually something like this, where you put it on over yourself. You don't pull it over. Instead, you just wear it like this. That's also called a jumper in the UK English. So it's important to kind of know what you're talking about when you're using these words. So let's go ahead and try the sentence below. Okay, it's cold out today. You should wear a jacket or sweater. Try it again. All right. Now we have this one, turn signal or winka, right? So as you can see, totally different words. There is another word that is actually quite similar in English that we sometimes use as blinker. However, blinker and winker are a little bit different, as you can see. So the most common phrase that we use that is the same as winka is turn signal. Try the sentence now. Okay, make sure to use your turn signals when you change lanes on the road. So when you change lanes means when you're driving and when there's the lane or the path, the road that you're on, and then there's another one next to you. So you go from one lane to the other one, right? You change lanes on the road. Try saying this sentence again. Okay. Next one is live concert or raibu, right? So in English, in fact, it's kind of funny because the full phrase that we might use is live concert because there are many different types of concerts. A live concert is usually when there is somebody singing specifically or a band that is playing, right? However, in Japanese, you just use the first word live or raibu, and in natural English, we just use the second word, concert. So in fact, these two, the original phrase kind of split and went in two different directions. However, if you want to use the meaning of raibu, you really want to say concert in English. So let's try the sentence now. Okay. My favorite band is having a concert in Tokyo this weekend. Try it one more time. All right. And for our final of the five words, ice cream, or in Japanese, we just say aisu, right? So, as you can see, this is another situation where in Japanese you just use the first word and ignore the second one. However, you can't really do that in English because just using the word ice means like the little square cubes of ice that you put into a drink to make it cold, right? We have to say ice cream if we want to actually have the same meaning as aisu, right? So it's also useful to know that when we're talking about ice cream, there's kind of two major different types of ice cream. And in English, we call them hard ice cream and soft serve ice cream. Most of the ice cream that you will see, especially in Japan, is soft serve ice cream. And that's actually more often made with different kinds of chemicals and stuff like that. Haagen-Dazs is one of the few ice creams that is hard ice cream that you can eat. So let's try the sentence now. Okay, it's hot out today. Should we go and eat some ice cream? Try it one more time. All right, so we have 5 more of these words that are not quite the same in natural English as they are in Japanese. Go ahead and look at these 5 words. How many of them do you really know the meanings of? All right, so we have football. Try that one. We have corn dog. Try that one. We have apartment. Try that one. We have part-time job. Try that. And finally, we have buffet. This one's a little bit tricky because you don't say the T at the end of the word, just buffet, almost like F-A-Y. It comes from French, I believe, so that's why you have the silent T at the end of the word. Buffet. Try that one. All right. So, how many of these words do you know? 1, 2, all 5? None of them? Probably not none of them. Here are the equivalent words in Japanese. So we have amefuto, We have American dog. We have apato. We have baito. And we have biking. So our first one, American football or amefuto. This one is again a little bit tricky because of all the other countries involved. So most of the world, I would say probably a majority of the world, thinks of the word football as what in American English we would call soccer, right? The one with the ball and you kick the ball around and stuff like that with the World Cup. So again, in American English we call that soccer, and then what most people think of as American football, Americans just call football because in general, football is much more popular in America than soccer is. Of course, when you go outside of America, when you go to the UK or Australia or basically most of the rest of the English-speaking world just calls it football, like soccer and football are the same. And then we call the other thing American football. So it's kind of the same way in Japan too, because you just take American football and you shorten it to amefuto, right? But again, if you're going to be visiting America specifically and you want to talk about American football, you should just say football. So let's go ahead and try this sentence. Okay. Lots of Americans watch a football game on TV during Thanksgiving. Do you know when Thanksgiving is? There's several different countries that celebrate this thing called Thanksgiving, this holiday, but they're all at different times. Do you happen to know when Americans usually celebrate Thanksgiving? So, Americans usually celebrate Thanksgiving in late November. The date tends to move around because it's supposed to be, I believe, the third Thursday, fourth Thursday, something like that. It's always at the end of November, basically. So try this one again. All right. Now we have corn dog and American dogu. This one I found very funny when I found out what it was in Japanese. I don't actually know the real reason, but I expect the reason why it's called American dogu is because they came from America to Japan. So that's why it just became American dogu, right? American dogu. But in America, we call them corn dogs. If you said American dog, people would be very confused and probably think that you're talking about a real dog. But because the outside is covered in deep fried corn batter, that's what we call it, a corn dog. Go ahead and try the sentence below. Okay, I love going to state fairs. I always get a corn dog to eat. So, do you know what a state fair is? Remember that America has 50 different states, kind of like prefectures in America. But basically a state fair is usually it usually happens in the early fall or sometimes the summer. But it's a place where people go and it's all outside and there's lots of events and rides and attractions. It's kind of like an amusement park that's temporary and only usually like once a year. All right, try this one again. Okay. Next we have one that you probably already know, but is worth reviewing. Apartment or apato. So you can probably very easily see how the word apato came from apartment. But if you really wanted to change the word apartment entirely into katakana eigo, you'd say apartamento, right? Which is too long, which is why you just say apato. So again, if you're going to be in America, you want to use the word apartment. But if you're in somewhere like the UK, they more often call it a flat. A flat is an apartment. Again, there's a bunch of words that are used to describe different things in Japanese and English about this specific topic. So we have in Japanese the word manshon, manshon. And we have the English word mansion, mansion. However, they're talking about two different things once again. Manshon in Japanese is the same meaning as condominium or condo. That's basically a generally pretty nice house that most people either lease, like rent for long term, or actually own, but oftentimes is connected to other condos. A mansion in English is a very, very big, very, very expensive house. So let's try this sentence. Okay. I try to clean my apartment at least once a week. Try the sentence again. All right. Part-time job. Baito. So, the question probably is, where did baito come from? It's hard to get baito from any part of the word part-time job, right? That's because this word is not in fact from the English version. It's actually from German. It's from the German word arbeiten, which means to work in German. Yeah, so basically if you want to talk about baito, we just say part-time job in natural English. Go ahead and try the sentence below. Okay. I need to leave or I'll be late for my part-time job. Try it again. Okay. And finally, we have the word buffet or baikingu. So the word baikingu, obviously, very different from the word buffet. Baikingu comes from the word Viking, that V sound that we've been practicing several times before, as in Viking feast. So Vikings were people that lived a long time ago in Northern Europe, and it's difficult to explain now, but the idea is that they used to have these really big feasts with all kinds of different food, and you could eat as much as you want, which is basically describes what a buffet is, or a baikingu. So outside of Japan, we just call them buffets. Go ahead and try the sentence now. Okay. I ate so much at the buffet that I got a stomach ache. Remember that a stomach ache is when your stomach hurts. Go ahead and try the sentence again. Okay. Nice job. So that was, again, 10 words that are usually wasei eigo or gaira eigo that do not have the same kind of word, or you can't really use them in the same way in natural English. We'll do another lesson like this at some point in the future, but more often than not, we'll be doing our usual pronunciation lessons and also groups of phrase lessons. However, I am considering trying to change up the format of this live stream lesson because I also want to start including short videos in my YouTube content. I think that the short videos will be easier to watch and also will be able to spread more easily. Because right now we still don't have many people watching the live streams, and I want the live streams to be times when people can ask questions directly and then I can answer them directly right on here. So watch for changes that might be coming pretty soon to this format. Anyway, in any case, if you like the live streams, please make sure to like and comment and subscribe, and also to share them around with other people, because the more people that watch, the more content that I can produce. And also, if you ever have a comment, please leave them on any video and I will see them and respond to them, and if you have any English to correct, I can also do that. Okay, so see you next week.